The absolute foundations of your roster, the building blocks to a championship team. We're talking running backs, we're talking sleeper running backs.
Perfect.
Whether it's standard scoring or PPR formats, running backs are an absolute necessity to any championship level team that is going to take you all the way to the promised land. And this time, I'm talking about the sleepers, the guys you can get in a few of the later rounds that can help elevate your roster to championship contender. Starting things off first with JK Dobbins from the Baltimore Ravens. Last year, the potential was sky high for JK Dobbins in this very run-heavy attack within the Baltimore Ravens offense, but unfortunately, right before the beginning of the regular season, his entire season was snapped away, gone to a season-ending injury, and unfortunately, we never got to see JK Dobbins at full strength in his first full season as the starter. However, this upcoming season, fully rehabilitated, full strength, full speed, JK Dobbins looks like he's in an absolutely great shape running into this upcoming regular season in an offense where he is still the bona fide #1 running back within the system that is also a very run-heavy system with quarterback Lamar Jackson and very likely the #1 receiving threat going to be tight end Mark Andrews. The departure of Marquise Hollywood Brown to the Arizona Cardinals took away Lamar Jackson's #1 wide receiving target. So as they develop and bring along Rashad Bateman, their former first-round pick as well, I think JK Dobbins is going to see quite a bit of tread this upcoming season. I think he's going to see quite a few opportunities, especially when you get closer to the goal line and the red zone. This offense is absolutely predicated on running the football. They're going to be fully healthy walking into this season. I think JK Dobbins running behind an absolutely monstrous offensive line, a great run-heavy offense with a number of dynamic offensive weapons around him is going to be absolutely fantasy gold as you look into the rounds maybe 4 or 5. If you're looking for another running back, I think JK Dobbins might very well be your guy. The next running back up is going to be Breece Hall for the New York Jets, the #1 running back in this year's past NFL draft. The New York Jets solidified their backfield, including Michael Carter and Ty Johnson, with the addition of Breece Hall, who was an absolutely prolific running back at his time at Iowa State, set an NCAA record for consecutive games with a touchdown, 2 back-to-back seasons with over 1,700 all-purpose yards, a ton of that seen on the ground, but also a little bit here and there through the air, so his ability to catch passes out of the backfield is going to be paramount, and his ability to absolutely dominate between the tackles and make plays in open space. I think Breece Hall has a lot of potential heading into this upcoming season as the New York Jets are still trying to establish that entire offense. There's a lot of very young playmakers, but at the end of the day, a lot of teams are still going to be running the ball. The New York Jets are going to be included in that. And I think Breece Hall is going to see a number of opportunities this year and could very well be a solid, more than solid pickup for your lineups this season. Next running back up, it's going to be Cam Akers for the Los Angeles Rams. Now, last season, we saw Cam Akers go down very early in the season with an ACL injury that almost completely removed him from the entire Rams season, but he was able to make his return for the Super Bowl and helped in an effort to win the Los Angeles Rams the Super Bowl this past season. So coming off of a big injury, most of the times you'd be a lot more nervous with a guy. However, he was able to rehab during the entire season and come back and play in the biggest game of the NFL calendar of the year of a lot of players' careers and was at least a contributor within that offense. I think after having an entire extra offseason to just focus on the rehab and focus on working out and preparing that ailment for this upcoming season, Cam Akers is going to be a very reliable starter for this Los Angeles Rams team that is still incredibly efficient, incredibly dynamic, and has a lot of potential to put up a ton of points. I think especially in red zone situations, they're going to be looking a lot more Cam Akers' way, especially along the goal line. He's going to find himself falling into the end zone, getting a lot of easy touchdowns. And what separates him from Darrell Henderson in the backfield is, to be honest, Cam Akers is just a lot more efficient and picks up a lot more yardage with the ball in his hands. Still going to be the day one starter for the Los Angeles Rams. I think he's going to be a very reliable starter for you in your lineup. Second to last running back I want to mention, it's going to be AJ Dillon for the Green Bay Packers. Now, what happened this past offseason that inspired me to throw AJ Dillon into this list? Well, they lost two of their top performing wide receivers this offseason, Devontae Adams as well as Marquez Valdes-Scantling, parting ways with the NFC and the Green Bay Packers to the AFC and the Raiders and the Chiefs respectively. So, what does this mean? Allen Lazard is going to be the wide receiver 1 for the Green Bay Packers. They also picked up another wide receiver whose name is escaping me at the moment for this upcoming season out of North Dakota State University. So you're going to have, well, an unproven wide receiver and a guy that was effectively the rotational 2-3 wide receiver as your 1 and 2 for this upcoming season. And then at tight end, obviously Robert Tonyan, but I think the Packers are going to go a lot more towards a 2 running back offensive setup. So you're going to have both Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon on the field, seeing the field together a lot this upcoming season. AJ Dillon can catch passes out of the backfield, very similar to Aaron Jones. I think AJ Dillon probably provides a little bit more goal line upside, being just a bigger body running back in general. I think they're going to use him a lot more in those ground and pound third down situations than maybe Aaron Jones, where Aaron Jones is going to be featured a lot more in the passing game. So AJ Dillon still has a lot of potential upside heading into this upcoming season. I would not write him off of your fantasy football starting lineups potentially. Would be a very solid flex option if you can afford it. And AJ Dillon essentially is just not to be slept on. And the final running back on my sleepers list is going to be Travis Etienne for the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jacksonville Jaguars spent huge this offseason to help improve the offense around their star quarterback in Trevor Lawrence, the #1 overall pick last year. But their second #1 overall pick, at least their second first-round pick, is Travis Etienne, who last year dealt with some injury issues and never really saw the field. However, walking into this season is going to be the easy #1 running back within Doug Peterson's offense, as James Robinson last year suffered an Achilles injury that he's still rehabbing from. Etienne is going to be the familiar face for Trevor Lawrence. He played with, obviously, in college, had a lot of great chemistry and a lot of big plays with at college at Clemson. So he's going to be obviously the #1 running back when it comes to running the ball in general, but he's also going to see plenty of opportunities in the passing game as well. Heck, Urban Meyer was not a great coach, as we all know, at the NFL level. However, he saw the receiving potential of Travis Etienne and even considered him a potential slot receiving type of player. So I think we're going to see a lot of Travis Etienne this upcoming season. And while the Jaguars, I don't expect to make any kind of huge splash this upcoming season as far as the record is concerned, they're still very much so developing roster. I think Etienne is going to see a ton of opportunities. And when it comes to fantasy football championships, it comes down to points. I think Etienne's going to see the ball quite a bit, and I think that's going to translate to a lot of potential points for you and your roster. He's going to be a solid starter at the flex. So thank you so much for watching the video. Of course, feel free to stick around and watch some more content. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and of course, get the bell on to know every single time I'm dropping a video. My name is Tristan Blake Rines. I'm going to catch you in the next one. Adios.